Good morning, everyone. This is Dina, and today is May 18th. I am still working through Stitch Mania and also the School of Magical Stitches prompts. And so I wanted to share one with you that I completed this morning for School of Magical Stitches. It is the extra credit, and it is stitching on something that has a mode of transportation. So I'm going to have to ask Stephanie to look away because I used her project, Stephanie, to meet this goal. So if you'll look away, I'll share this with everyone and I'll tell you when you can look back. Okay, I'll remind everyone that this is the pattern, and this section here is what I was using to illustrate a mode of transportation. I didn't have to stitch on that part, and I didn't because I'm not there yet, but I stitched on this part because I was trying to work on what was available to me in my Q-snap before I took it off. So, because I had just worked on this piece for another prompt. So here's where I got to on that. And I did 564 stitches in order to get that part done. I did not count this back stitched part because I actually couched it. And I didn't need it because I had enough stitches with 564. I only needed 500. So just with the body of it, I was fine. I didn't have to count the back stitching. So I think that's coming along, and I'm excited about getting to make some progress on it by using it for these prompts. Okay, sister, you can look back again now. I am very happy with how this is progressing, and I hope to get to show some more work on it soon. Maybe next week's homework or something I could use it for. I don't know yet. Well, I'm going to get busy and see what is next on my list. I haven't even looked to see what I need to be working on today because I started on this yesterday when I got home from my stitching gathering with Stitch and May and Connie G and Kelly, and I was just sort of tired. And I was so tired I actually thought I was due to work on my chatelaine for Ingeborg's birthday sale, and that's not till today. So I haven't missed the opportunity. I still may do that. But I will come back and let you know. And I hope you are having a great continuation of stitching in this month. And I will talk to you soon. Bye for now. Happy stitching. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Dina. Today is Monday, May 20th. And I am one new start away from the end of my Stitch Mania new starts. I just want to give you a report today on the stitching that I've been doing today. I went through my schedule and realized that I had a couple of days before my last start is scheduled, and it's my Broderie Aparri, and it is something I'm starting with another person, and we actually had two people, and one person is now not going to be able to start it due to some family issues, health issues and whatnot. So there'll be two of us still starting it on the 22nd, and so I don't want to change that date. And I thought, what am I going to stitch in the meantime? Do I want to stitch on something I've started? You know, what I want to do. So I looked through my notes, and I had one whip left that I had not touched at all during Mania yet. And it was also one that I could actually use for a prompt in Cheryl's Facebook group, the daily 30 minutes. And that prompt was to stitch on anything you wanted for 400 stitches, but you had to be able to describe your favorite breakfast. Sort of random, but that was okay because it fit. So I pulled out my Simply Love and I got started on it. So I'll put a picture in here to show you where it was when I began. and here's where it is now. So I put 470 stitches in here, and I'll show you what those are. They're this little motif right here, and then all of these swirls going down the side, and that little stem there for the next flower like this one. And there's still a little more in here to do, but I did enough stitching to meet the prompt. I did a little over what I needed to meet the prompt. And I have decided that I'm going to stop stitching for now because I have a couple of things I need to do. I have a part of a gift that I want to finish putting together for one of my retreats, and that involves some beading and or working with beads, and I would like to get that done today. And then the next thing that I'm doing, I started a new blanket today. We had our Naughty Knitters meet up, and I was able to start the center of another granny square blanket like the one I just did. This one I'm making it in a blue, kind of a dark tealish blue for a boy, where the first one was sort of a pink, brown, and white for a girl. So I got that started today, and I may want to put a few more stitches into that so I can get it going pretty well. And then I have got to clean up my craft room because I got started on it, and I got a really good start on it the other day. And then I got busy trying to meet all the prompts, and so I started stitching again. And I also had someone contact me that would like to start Christmas tea with me. If you'll recall, if you saw it in my last video, Anne gifted me her copy of Christmas tea. And so when I mentioned that, I got a message from a viewer who said they'd like to start it with me and that they had it and had it kitted up. So I've pulled out all my fabric and my flosses, and I have kitted it up. I don't have the called for of anything except maybe 3 or 4 flosses out of the whole pack. So I spent time looking online last night at 123 Stitch and at Crescent Colorworks and other websites so I could see the colors that were supposed to be called for, so I could find something in my stash that would substitute. And so now I have it, and I need to get in touch with that individual and let them know I've got it kitted, and we will determine a time to make that a new start together. I have already been looking at June's calendar. Are you surprised? And I have a penciled in plan for the month of June. I started with Sandles, and then I have penciled in an opportunity to try to work on all of my whips. It is in pencil because I have no idea what the School of Magical Stitches is going to throw at us. So we'll see. That may all be out the window. But I just wanted to look at what sales were coming up because there are a lot of sales right now being posted in Cross Stitch Finish Line. And there's a lot of them that I would like to participate in because I have a whip that will meet them. So we'll see how much more I get to do. I'm enjoying it. I'm getting a lot of stitching done on my whips, and I'm gonna need that moving forward because I have a lot of whips now. I'm up to 14. And with my new start on the 22nd, I'll be up to 15. And if I decide to start this Christmas tea, and I'll remind you of what that looks like because I still have the cover here. If I decide to start that anytime soon, I'll have another one, 16. And then, as you know, I have a new start slated for every month this year. And my new start for June is a Little House Needleworks, my neighborhood. And I want to do that in June because we bought this house in June a year ago. 2 now. This will be our 2nd June that we've owned the house. We haven't lived here for 2 years. We owned this house from June to January before we moved in. But we did buy it in June. And so I thought it would be neat to start that one in June because this is our home and that's also our wedding anniversary. And so we made a family a home in the month of June for the first time. So I thought that would be good to start that in June. So that is going to push it up possibly, or what are we up to now, 18 whips? This is the lady who couldn't do the year of whips because it went to 18 and I didn't have enough and I wasn't going to start enough to get there. Now I have probably by June we'll have enough. Who knows? I may be back in the running for year of whips next year depending on how many we have. And I've never left the group. I've just been enjoying what you guys are doing, but I just didn't feel comfortable with that many whips. And I don't really feel that comfortable with it now, but I'm not panicked over it. And I think it's because I realized I'm having so much fun to have all these different whips to choose from to do School of Magical Stitches, and I'm putting a large chunk of stitching in each time, and so they will eventually be finished. I will work more on my pieces that have a time frame. The birthday gifts or Christmas gifts, you know, I'll work more on those. But on Friday, I will do a video to pull the winner of the Passing the Stash for the spring delivery. And I will share with you at that time my finished piece. It's in a flat fold and I think it's beautiful. And I want to share that with you. And that way, I think that'll be a good way to introduce the drawing. And in the meantime, I'll talk to you soon. Happy stitching. Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Dina and today is Wednesday, May 22nd. And today is my final day of Stitch Mania. I had a new start today. I started it with another person, Stitch Witch Hazel. And so the piece that was started today for my last new start was the Broderie Aparri. Please pardon my French, I don't speak French. But I loved this piece when I saw it. It just spoke to me. If you saw my earlier video where I laid out what I was going to start for Mania, you know that I had planned on starting this on a piece of fabric with some beautiful variegated silk threads and that I had been gifted. And so I asked what you guys thought of my choice, and I had a lot of positive responses supporting that choice. And I also had a couple of really good comments from people who felt that the choice might not be the best one, and they gave reasons why. And so I went back to my stash and I looked again to see if I could find a color that I thought would be better suited to allow for the thread to really pop on the fabric. And unless I wanted to do the same combination that I already have here, I really didn't have anything where I had enough fabric or I had enough of the silk floss. So I came back to this one and I did a little research and I found that I could still order this colorway in this brand of floss. And so I thought for that reason alone, I was gonna stick with it. Plus, these colors just appeal to me. I love blues, and this has a blue teal color in it, and I like cool colors, and so these are cool colors. And so I went ahead and went with it, and I decided to do the start on it and just see how I liked it, because if I didn't like it, I could always do a different one. So this is how my Broderie Aparri is looking. I hope you can see the variegation in it as well as I can. It's a nice, subtle variegation. It's not a shocking variegation, and I really like that because I want the piece to look classy. But this is 32 count Valor. It is Belfast linen, and so it is by Picture This Plus, and you're getting a beautiful view of it if you're seeing what I'm seeing in the viewfinder. I love it. You can see the variegation here, how I started at this thread and went down and then went over here, so you can see it go from the light to the medium, back down into the blue, into the teal, all the way across. So I got this much done, and I looked at how much floss I had left when I finished stitching today, and I decided, you know, these are 20-yard skeins. This is the floss, the Thread Gatherer Silk and Pearl, and this is called Forest of Greens. I think it's beautiful. But I have used about, I would say, a third of one skein, and I only have one left. And even though they say they're 20 yards, I tried to calculate up how much floss they were calling for in this pattern, and it was called for a 32 count fabric, and they used Gentle Arts thread. And I went online to see how many yards the skein of Gentle Arts was, because they didn't call but for one. They didn't have a number out there to tell you needed more than one. And their yards are only 5 and 10, and so these were 20. And I thought, well, surely, you know, to have 40 yards of this, I'll have enough. But then after I did this today, I felt like I would rather be safe than sorry. And because you can have dye lot issues, I thought before I go any further on this piece, I want to order a couple of skeins of this and get it in and make sure the colors are exact. Because if they're not, what I can do is I can take a strand that has the whole variegation from one pack, you know, from one skein, and then I can go to the other skein if the color's just a little bit different, and I can take a strip off of that, a thread off of that, and use it so that it looks like the variegation is just, you know, continuing in a different little shade or colorway. In other words, interweave it in between each other, and that way it won't be so different that you have a top half one color and then the bottom half look a little bit different. This way it'll all be woven in together. So I went ahead and ordered 2 skeins of this silk, and it's on its way. So that way, by the time I work on it again, I'll have the new silk, and I'll know whether it's a perfect match or whether I'm gonna have to blend it, you know, as I go forward. The other thing I will tell you is there's a second color in here, and it's hard to see because they did one that matched the background so well. But this is solidly stitched behind that button, and this is solidly stitched behind the initials. And then there are contrasting stitches in here, in this border, but they did them in a color that was almost the same as the fabric, to where it almost blended in, but you just see the dimension of it being stitched. So I took that as my lead, that color is to blend in. It's not really to stand out. It's just there to help keep everything else looking full. And so what I did is I went through my DMC colors, and I found this color 3024, and I feel like it does exactly that. It blends beautifully in the background. It's in that lighter shade of the modeling, and so it should be a beautiful background. And because this is so modeled, when I use this color, it's gonna look solid. So you'll actually be able to see it a little bit, but I didn't want it to, you know, jump out at you. So I think that's gonna be pretty. And I'm actually quite happy with it. So I didn't want you guys that recommended I look for something different to think I didn't listen. I did, and I actually did look to see if I had another choice. But as it turned out, I took a chance, and this is how this one is looking, and I do like it. So I hope you guys do. I'm using this in the School of Magical Stitches for the extra credit that says that you start a piece or you work on a piece that actually has its name or its designer's name beginning with a letter that you find in the word goblet. And of course, with this one being Broderie Aparri, the B is found in goblet. So this is my one whip, I think, that actually meets that criteria. So I know that Stitch Witch Hazel was able to start hers. I've already seen her post. I'm going to be putting mine up on Instagram here in a few minutes as well, because we're putting all of our progress under a little hashtag that we created, and I'll be doing that. So I'm very excited about that. Mania has been a great process for me this year, much more so than ever before. Probably, I guess, because I was so much more invested in it. It was so much fun. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching. Those of us who are doing Mania, if you're not doing it yourself, if you're in Mania, you're having a good time. I hope you are. Don't let it stress you out. Don't do it if it stresses you out. I hope that your remaining month of May is a delightful time of stitching for you. I hope those of you who are still in Mania are eating your Wheaties. I really am thrilled that I spent this much time with it this year and that I got so much started and done, and it has just been a wonderful experience. But I am also glad we only do it once a year. Well, everyone, enjoy your stitching, and until I see you again, happy stitching, everyone. Bye. Hello, everyone. How are you? This is Dina, and this is Thursday, May 23rd, and I am delighted to let you know I actually got stitched today. I did this stitching particularly for a mirror sale with cross stitch finish line. It was mirror on the wall, and I only have one mirror going at this time, so that is Seaside Kingdom, and this is where I'm at on Seaside Kingdom. So just in case you don't recall, I was working on this tower, and I had done just a little bit. I'd done this flowers and had gotten a little bit of the wall, I think right here, started. So today I filled all of this in, and I did these 3 seashells that are 3 or 4 different colors, a lot of confetti in here. I finished all the confetti in here. Everything else you see that are holes in there now or blank spots are for beads. So I am filling it in as I go. I'm not back stitching as I go. I'll wait until I get a little further down, I think, to do the back stitching. But if you'll recall, this is the little girl's hair. So I'm getting there. And this part right here is still a good section above the little boy, because he's shorter in the picture. He's lower down than his, what would be his sister, I guess. But anyway, that is what I have been working on today for my mirror sale, and only got a couple of hours in, so not that terribly much stitching, but as Katie says, every stitch is closer to a finish, right? So that's kind of where I am today. And I'm glad I got to pull this out again this month, because it is my only mirror that I am working on, so it's one of my most detailed and difficult pieces because of having to do the fill-in, and also the fact that it's hand painted, and I've mentioned before, you know, that it kind of clogs up the fabric holes. But I've been working with it enough now that it's getting easier and easier to see. I think the paint has kind of broken up, you know, and it's okay now. I can actually see through it and put my needle through it a lot easier now. So I think I've got the stiffness out of it, you know, where it was first painted, whatever. So I enjoyed working on this today very much, and it will be going away again until the next time I work on it. Okay, I also got something that was a big surprise today in the mail. Recently, I had received a message from one of my videos, or on one of my videos, from a lady who was stitching a piece that I was stitching, the 12 Days by Jim Shore. And she had been stitching along and had spilt coffee somehow on her pattern, a portion of her pattern. And she was kind enough to send me a picture of her pattern to show that she actually did own it, you know, that she wasn't trying to get a copy of the pattern from me. And of course, I knew she wasn't, but I did ask just to do my due diligence for copyright. And she sent me a copy of that very quickly over the telephone. And so I was able to photocopy the section that she had the damage to, just a working copy for her, that portion of the chart, and mailed it to her. It took me, a few seconds to do that, and a trip to the post office. you know, it was something any of us would do for one another, and I did it gladly. And then today, I got the sweetest thank you note. I got this lovely card. Isn't that a beautiful butterfly? I love the butterfly. Anyway, it says sending a hug and a hi, and she wrote a sweet thank you, and said she is working right along on her pattern. It's going swimmingly, and she sent me something in appreciation for me doing that for her. She didn't need to do that at all, but I'm so glad she did. I don't have permission to use her name, but I will just let you know, she knows who she is. But I opened up her card today and I squealed when I saw it, because I have been admiring this and had been talking myself out of buying it for quite some time, because I'm doing Stitch from Stash this year. And even though I have a very good budget, because I've had a lot of finishes this year, I'm saving up everything I can because I'm going to a retreat. You know, we buy a lot at retreats. And so I'm trying to keep that where I can manage it. So I hadn't bought anything new. A floss here or there, or a project bag that I had to have a couple of those for Mania. But this came in the mail. Isn't that awesome? Cross Stitch Nation. I've been wanting to do this so badly. I have seen several of you stitch it and play with the flosses and do different things for the dresses and the colors and all. And I have a whole bunch of variegated silk that I was gifted, and I would love to play with that in this pattern. So that's what I'm planning on doing. And the next pattern I got with this thank you note was this snapshot also. And it's called Holy Night. And I think it'll make a great little Christmas piece. So I'm looking forward to working with that as well. So that was my happy mail today. Today I got to thinking, how am I going to work through all of my whips going forward? Then I thought, well, if I get my homework done toward the first of a week and I don't have a sale the rest of that week to stitch on something in particular, it might be fun to use the Decision app to pick a whip for me to work on, because I'll have so many that I may not get to all of them every month. So I filled out my Decision app on my phone, and I can't show it to you because I'm filming with it, but I actually tested it out today, and I spun the wheel, and it came up with I'll be home for Christmas. And just for fun, I pulled it out today and I put in a few stitches. I just back stitched what I had stitched for Mania, the start that I made, and filled in the puppy dog. This was the front door of the house, and the little puppy dog is looking out the front door waiting for you to come home. And I went ahead and finished the puppy dog and then back stitched that front door. So an hour, put in about an hour on it. But it was just fun. It was a trial run, and it worked out really well. And then I put it away so I could get to my mirror for my mirror sale. So that's been my stitching today. Well, I hope that you've enjoyed your stitching today as well. I will say goodbye for the weekend because our company arrives tomorrow, and I don't expect to do any filming until after they leave. Wouldn't ask my friends to go through that, really. So anyway, I will talk to you next week, and I will be thinking of you and hoping that you are enjoying your stitching. Happy stitching, everybody. Bye. Hello everyone, how are you? Today is Friday, and I am going to go ahead and do the drawing for my spring delivery pattern and the fabric to go with it. So this is what you'll be getting, and I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to show you my spring delivery finish. as a fully finished object, and then I'll show you the random number generator and let you watch as we pull the winner. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, here is my spring delivery in a flat fold. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I'll show you the backing fabric. Isn't that beautiful? I just think it makes a gorgeous flat fold. Okay, that is the pattern you're going to be getting and the fabric, so let's turn on the random number generator and see what we get. Okay, there were 145 entries. 104 is the Silver Stitcher. The Silver Stitcher, you are the winner of spring delivery. I'll put a comment on your comment, and if you will send me your mailing address, I will send it right to you. I'm so excited for you. Hope to hear from you very soon. The Silver Stitcher. Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Dina, and this segment of the video is to celebrate my hitting the 4,000 subscriber mark that happened this month in May. And with all of Mania going on and having a giveaway already going for spring delivery, I didn't want to also have this giveaway running at the same time, so I've decided to wait until I drew the lucky winner for the spring delivery, and then I thought I would let you know what I would like to share with you to celebrate my subscribers. I have subscribers from different parts of the country and from different age groups and different interest levels. We all stitch different things, and so I've tried to put together a little gift package that would hopefully have something that you might like. So here's what I'm going to do. I have 4 gifts that I'm going to give away. I'm going to show each of the 4 gifts and describe them to you, and then what I would like for you to do in the comments, if you want to be in the drawing for these gifts, is to just list the designers' names, which I'm going to give you, for all of the groups that you want to be involved in. If you want all, just say all. If you want to pick and choose 1 or 2 or 3 of the 4, that's fine. And then if you win one, of course, if your name is drawn randomly for another one, I'll just go to the next winner, because I'm going to have 4 different winners. I'm sure most of you are familiar with that process, and I think you can understand that would be the fairest thing to do. So let's get started. The first giveaway that I'm going to do is a Lizzie Kate package, and these are 2 patterns that I have stitched this year, and I'm hoping that you might want to stitch them as well. The first one is a Little Gray Hare by Lizzie Kate, and if you'll recall, I stitched that for my sister for her birthday, and she loved it. It's a beautiful Easter type piece. And then this is a Lizzie Kate. It's my to-do list. And I love this sentiment. I stitched it for Mania, and I finished it in 2 days. It's a simple stitch. It's quick to do, and both charts are pristine, no markings on either one. So if you are interested in these 2 patterns, they're a set for this giveaway, and all you have to do is say you would like to stitch the Lizzie Kate, or you're interested in the Lizzie Kate package. So this is Lizzie Kate. The second one that you're going to see, you'll be familiar with it, and I will insert a little clip after this segment here of where she's hanging in my home. But the next pattern that will be given to you is my copy of Nantucket Rose. So if you would like this pattern, you can either say, I would like to stitch your Mirabilia, or you can say, I would like to stitch Nantucket Rose. Either one will get you in the drawing for this. Okay, that's the second package. Third present is an antique reproduction and Sandles. This is a sampler. It's a beautiful sampler. It's got a scripture in the middle. It says, Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God among the trees. Now, if you don't like that, you could, of course, swap that out for something else. But those of you who like an Adam and Eve sampler, this is one of them. Now, you get the pattern, and you get all the hand-dyed floss to go with it. Okay? If you're interested in this one, just say you want to stitch the sampler, and I'll know which one you mean. And this last grouping that I'm going to put up for you is from my stash. The first two are duplicates that where I have actually gotten two from either gifts of other people, or I've purchased one and then I have it in a magazine or a book. And the third one is a kit that I was gifted, and I'm not going to stitch it, so I'm going to pass it along. So let me show you what these are. These are all Teresa Wentzler. So if you're a Teresa Wentzler fan, you might want to look up. This one is Romeo and Juliet. This one is Lady of Shalot. I actually won this from someone's channel and then was gifted the full kit. So I'm going to use the kit, and I'm going to pass along the chart. And this is a full kit, and this is Pegasus by Teresa Wentzler, and it has everything in it. So if you would like the Teresa Wentzler grouping, just put you want to stitch the Teresa Wentzler. I'll put some goodies along with it, of course, but those are the 4 different groupings of patterns that I have pulled out to give to you this time. Lizzie Kate, I'm hoping some of you that are Lizzie Kate fans might not have already stitched those. And then, of course, we have a lot of Mirabilia fans. And then a lot of people now are stitching samplers. And so I'm hoping that some of you might really want to do that one. And then Teresa Wentzler, there are some diehard Teresa Wentzler fans out there. And I have a great collection of her patterns and haven't stitched any of them to completion yet. So this year, coming up, 2020 probably, is going to be where I get my first finish of a Teresa Wentzler, I'm hoping. That's a goal anyway. So if you would like any one of those, or all being included for all of them, that's fine. Please let me know your interest, and I will keep 4 lists running. And I plan on doing a random number generator to select this lucky recipient for each of these 4 items at the end of the month in June. So it will be on my last video in June, because I feel like we have so many Mania videos that people are going to take a little while to work their way through them, and it may take them a little while to see this one. So remember, Lizzie Kate, either Nantucket Rose or Mirabilia, the sampler, and then Teresa Wentzler. That will get you entered into those. Or if you want to be in for all, just say all. Please be over 18. Please be a subscriber. After all, this is to thank my subscribers. And please don't say anything about giveaway or free or anything that would get the trolls' attention. I want a stitcher to get this. I certainly don't mind if you win one of these multiple packs that if it has one in you've already stitched or something that doesn't suit you as well as the other part of that little package, feel free to gift it, give it away, to someone else who's going to stitch it. But again, I want to thank everybody for subscribing, for watching, for following along as I'm doing my stitching, and I hope that you are having a wonderful month of May. I hope Mania was good to you. And I will talk to you soon. Happy stitching.